Hi everyone, I just wanted to make a short recording here, sort of a how-to in terms of completing these new weekly timesheet and journal templates. So this one is the weekly timesheet template. It's an Excel document, so when you open it you'll see something like this. It's got two worksheets. It's got the weekly timesheet and a completed example. Now obviously this is Excel, but what you'll find is that the final deliverable is in fact a PDF document, and I'll show you how to do that. So what I've done with these templates is I've locked down some of the cells. So on this particular template, for instance, if I click on name and I try and type something, then an error message comes up, and that tells me that don't have authorization to edit over that particular cell. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to sort of minimize any sort of errors, by doing that. But really, any cell that's kind of like white or kind of like blank, empty, they're the ones that I want you to put your information in. Okay, so I can put my name. Okay, I can put the reporting week, so that's the 7-day period. I'm going to keep it the same as the example, so May 20th to 26th. All right. With the cumulative hours total, what I want you to do is include the hours, your total hours accrued from the previous submission. So say, for example, this is my first one, all right, then my cumulative hours total prior to this particular weekly timesheet is 0. All right, this is the first week where I'm going to be completing project hours, all right, or internship hours. Sorry. All right. Then as we go down, I want you to put the dates in. Okay, so starting with Monday, May 20th, May 21st, 22nd, 23rd. 24th, 25th, 26th. All right, and there are my dates of this particular reporting period. All right, now what you need to do is you need to put like your start and end times, where you've worked, where you've been on site each day. Now you'll see here that for each day there's a couple of rows, which means that you can put up to like 2 shifts. All right, say for example, I had a really early start on Monday, all right, and I started at 7 a.m., but actually only worked until 11:30 a.m. But then, my internship site asked me to come back for a shift later that evening where I worked 4 p.m., all right, to say 7:30 p.m. All right, so what that's done there is it's given me space to be able to put 2 different shifts in. That might not be the case for you guys. It might be that you just do one, right? And if that is the case, say for example, I'm working 9 to 5, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. All right, and then I just enter that, and then I'll leave that kind of like second row empty. Okay, all right, you can see what's happened here, and we'll use this 9 to 5 as an example. Right, it's got the start time and the end time. The next column along, which is F, converts that into total number of minutes, and then what the column G does is converts that into total number of hours, and then what the hours total does is it actually rounds it up to the nearest quarter hour. All right, okay, so let's do this instead. So say for example, instead of working 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., I worked until 5:05 p.m. Okay. All right, what you can see is that the minutes has obviously changed, the hours has changed, but what the hours total column has done in H has rounded 8.08 up to 8.25, which is 8 hours and 15 minutes. Okay, so I'd complete all of that for each day that you worked. If you didn't work that day, don't put anything in. Don't even feel the need to put 0. Just leave it blank. All right, and if you come down to the bottom here, you'll see that my just over those 2 days. My weekly total hours is 16.25, and my cumulative total hours, because like I said, this was hypothetically my first week, is also 16.25. But for instance, if this was my second week and I'd already got 30 hours in the bank, all right, from the previous week, then my cumulative hours total now changes, all right, it adds that 30 to the weekly total hours for this particular reporting period, and it gives you your total there. Okay, so hopefully with some of the formula that are built into this particular template, it makes it easy. All right, the completed example, sort of same thing, but just gives you an example of what this, should look like when you've completed it. Okay, all right, and when you have completed the template, what I want you to do is I want you to convert it to a PDF, and I want the PDF to be submitted into Canvas. To do that, right, I go to File, I say Save as Adobe PDF. All right. I want to, I'm going to use the completed example. All right, so the sheets in the PDF is just going to be the one, right, whichever one that you've actually completed. All right, for this one, I'm just going to use the completed example. And I'm going to ask that you fit the worksheet to a single page. All right, okay, and then if I then convert that, okay, it's going to say yes, okay, yes, okay, and then I need to save that somewhere and put it into my internship thing, vidgrid example, okay, and then what that does, and now I'm going to toggle to my Adobe Acrobat if it's going to do it for a sec. Here we go. Right, here is the completed example as a PDF document, and that's what you'll upload into Canvas for your weekly submission. Now, in addition to the timesheet, you need to complete the journal. All right, okay, and what I've done is I've created another template for that. Okay, so let me find it now. Internship journal new. This is the template. Just give me a moment. Here we go. All right, okay, so here's the blank example. All right, so again, put your name. All right, put the reporting week. All right, again, I'm going to keep this the same, 20th to the 26th. All right, just like the previous timesheet, you're going to put the dates in here. Okay, so on and so forth. All right, and then what I want you to do is I want you to, there's 5 rows against each day, right? And I want you to summarize the up to, and it might not be in certain days when you're on site during your internship, you might not do 5 different tasks. If you do more than 5 different kind of like unique tasks, right, then I want you to kind of prioritize the 5 major, up to 5 major ones, right? But I want you to kind of like give me some statements of what you did. Okay, all right, so this might be my first day on site, so I'd say attended internship orientation session. Okay, conducted an inventory of program equipment. Okay, all right, and so on. Okay, so I want you to give me action verb statements of sort of what you've done, what tasks you completed. All right. You'll do that for each of the days that you've worked, right? And you'll see that there's nothing below that, right? Okay, so this is all that I'm looking for, all right? Is the main difference with this journal template is that you put your task completed, and then this column E is you'll find on the Canvas site the professional standards and competencies document, right? So there's programming competencies, operations, financial management, and human resources. What I want you to do is I want you to link the professional standards and competencies, at least one, to each of the tasks that you've completed. All right, so I can't remember the professional standards and competencies off the top of my head, but there is one in there about familiarizing yourself with the organization's mission, its strategic plan, and so on and so forth. That would be the best linkage to this particular task completed, which is to attend an internship orientation session where you'll get an overview of the whole organization and all that good stuff. So say, for example, that is competency C01. All right, and then there is another operations competency around conducting inventories and so on and so forth. So, for argument's sake, say, for example, that's CO7 or whatever, right? So that's how you'll complete this, all right? And again, the completed example, let me show you here. All right, is I've done the same thing, name, date, I've entered the dates of each of the days of the week, and then I've inserted in column D the tasks that I completed on each day, and then in column E I've linked the professional standards and competencies to that particular task. All right, and that is all that I'm looking for from the journal entry. Okay, all right, same thing with this. your file, save as an Adobe PDF document. You'll try and fit it onto one page, or if it's quite long, you might just kind of fit it to page width, and it might run onto a second page. But I'm pretty sure that these will always fit on one page. So then realistically, you've got 2 PDF documents that you'll be uploading each week: your completed timesheet and your completed journal. All right. There might be some questions, especially in the first couple of times that we do this. Like I said, this is new for me. I know at least a couple of you have done field experiences with me, and this is sort of a different approach to how we've collected timesheet and journal data in the past. So there might be some teething problems. But yeah, any questions, please let me know.